right into it. All right. Oh no, that's not good. Ah! The whole car. Oh! Oh no. Fuck this. Ah! Oh! Ah! Oh, Vision versus Vision, yeah! Get him, Vision.
This is our home.
Then let's fight for it.
Don't waste your breath, babe. No one can hear you from in here.
Ah!
You must be destroyed.
No! No, not again, yes! Ugh, fucking fuck you.
Hey, it's my
Oh!
for the girl.
Trouble is, my friends at Quantico will probably have something to say about your plan when they arrive.
You're bluffing.
Am I?
Did you know there's an entire chapter devoted to you in the Darkhold? That's the Book of the Damned. Scarlet Witch is not born, she is forged. Her power exceeds that of the Sorcerer Supreme. It's your destiny to destroy the world. Oh, really?
This reminds me of someone.
I have a daughter. She's 8. She could be friends with your boys. If you like that storyline. Or the school bully even. Really anything. If you could just let her out of her room. Agnes doesn't live here.
You do.
Oh my god, he's Ralph!
Ralph Boner?
Boner.
Yeah. Come on, come on!
Please, spare my life.
Nice to meet you, Ralph.
Oh, Wanda, 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 Wanda. I know you're not meaning to do this, but stop, stop, stop! Ooh! Oh, but what about... Oh, no, 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 no. Vision, 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 no! This is what I was worried about.
To this twisted world, and now one can't exist without the other.
Are you okay?
I was about to be like, could this get any worse? And then this shithead shows up. Oh, okay, I'm replaying that. A little bit, little bit, little bit.
Your mother and I never really prepared you for this.
But you were born for it.
My programming directive is to destroy the Vision.
Change the programming.
But I'm not the true Vision. Only a conditional vision. I request elaboration.
Ah, yes.
Boys, handle the military. Mommy will be right back.
Seriously, you're gonna point that at... Oh! Oh, yes!
No, stand down!
They're fucking kids, you... Oh, yes! Oh!
Nice tricks. I like yours too.
Yes, Darcy!
Have fun in prison.
I am
hitting of the hex is making me... Oh, yes!
But I don't need you to tell me who I am.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
No.
It's gonna be... Oh! Ah!
You don't know what you've done.
Ah.
So what now? Just gonna lock me up somewhere?
No, not somewhere. Here. I'll give you the role you chose. The nosy neighbor. I'm sorry.
No, you're not. You're cruel.
Ooh. That little smirk right there.
You're gonna need me.
If I do, I know where to find you.
Wait.
Mm.
Wait.
Oh.
Hiya, hun. Say, that's some kind of getup you're wearing.
I know you'll set everything right. Just not for us.
Not friends.
Your mother and I. Very proud of you both.
Very proud. A family is forever. We could never truly leave each other even if we tried.
Good night, chaps.
Night, Dad. Night, Dad.
Thanks for choosing me to be your mom.
Yep, this is just gonna be continuing to just be a waterfall right here.
I just wanted to see you clearly. And there you are.
You are my sadness. And my hope. But mostly you're my love.
Gosh. Ugh.
That's what I'm happy next.
We'll say hello again.
So long, darling.
There better be a fucking after credit scene.
I was sent by an old friend of your mother's.
Oh. Ah!
He'd like to meet with you.
Where?
Probably see you in Captain Marvel too, baby! Oh, that's it. I don't want it to be over. Are you kidding? It ended so sadly. I'm just checking just in case if there's an after credit scene. That's just wishful thinking. Oh no, there is! Are you joking? Oh, sweet day! What was that? I don't care, that looked really cool and exciting. So I assume that she is, oh, it's titled The Series Finale? Is it titled The Series Finale, or is that just, fuck. So it was called The Series Finale. That makes me sad, because that means, it's saying like, hey, this is the end of the series. Which just sucks because I would have loved this season 2, but at the same time I get it because, well, I don't know, depending on what they do with Wanda and Doctor Strange 2 and how I mean, it could just all get like wrapped up there, but there's still so much you could do, and it's so great, and this TV show was wonderful. It is like definitely in my top 10, maybe even my top 5 of all time. I love the premise. I love all of the actors and actresses in it, and it set me through a wave of emotions, and then having another series would be dope. But at the same time, if they don't, they created this perfectly awesome show that I am fine with being one series, but at the same time I want there to be a series too. Okay, so I went and wrote down on my trusty index card. There's a lot. I wrote down a lot because I want to make sure that I cover everything that happened this episode, or at least like 90% of it. I'm scooting over. Let's get going. Okay, first things first, we have picking up exactly where we left off last week, Agatha versus Wanda. Agatha has the boys by the necks with a magical rope, but Wanda does her magic, and the boys manage to get free, and Wanda sends them back up to the house in order to keep them out of this chaos. And we also learn that when Wanda uses her powers against Agatha, Agatha basically absorbs her energy and takes away, draining some of Wanda, and it makes her hands look all gross, kind of like how we saw in Agatha's quick backstory last episode with the opening scene of her draining all of the other witches. And then that's obviously not going to stop Wanda. She is a badass. So what she does is she fucking sends her car on top of Agatha. And I really, really like the touch of the boots just hanging out. It was very Wizard of Oz-esque. And I think that's what they were going for because, you know, Wicked Witch. Duh. But as Wanda is looking at that, in the reflection in the background, you see none other than fucking White Vision pop down. And then Wanda, oh, it's so heartbreaking. She just goes up and it's like, Vision, is that you? And then he takes, and then the head, and then the awful sound that made, But luckily, our Vision, the good Vision, comes and swoops and, you know, sends that guy flying. And I really like the quick exchange that Vision and Wanda had of, you know, I'm sorry that all this is happening. I should have told you. And Vision's like, it's okay. Like, I get it. I heard everything that happened about it from Darcy, you know, and this is our home. We're going to fight for it. Love that. And then we go over to Jimmy outside the Hex, and he's been arrested by Tyler Dickward. And this is probably one of my favorite scenes. I think this is my favorite Jimmy scene, possibly, other than the clocking of the sword agent that happened a few episodes ago. But Jimmy just baiting Tyler and then getting to get the cell phone and getting out and calling Quantico. Awesome stuff. I really hope we see Jimmy in future Marvel projects. And then back in Westview, we have the name drop of the Darkhold. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. fans will know, I mean, as much as we know about the Darkhold from that show and from many an arc with that show. When they mentioned that, I was like, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., you did it! You're breaking through! I have always been, if you haven't watched Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., I highly recommend it. It is very, very good. It's my second favorite show of all time, so... And also, it's Marvel, and it's fun, and it's great. But Darkhold was introduced in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and we got a bit of information from that, and we're seeming like we're going to get a lot more information in the coming Wanda storyline in the MCU. But the Scarlet Witch is in there, and what did they say? She is destined to destroy the world, which sounds like, again, another character we know from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and exceeded the power of the Sorcerer Supreme. And I think that also is adding us into our heads, like, oh, we'll see this in Doctor Strange too. So that is revealed, which was woof. And Agatha wakes up Westview. I have such conflicting feelings. Like, I feel bad for the people of Westview, but I feel so much worse for Wanda. And at the end of the day, I'm going to be sympathizing, and I'm on Wanda's side with this one. So, like, it was awful to watch. And then whenever Wanda was freaking out, basically probably having a panic attack with all those voices and people just going like, ha ha ha. She exploded her powers and then caused the more magic to go, it's just such an awful situation all around. Okay. And then quickly we are gonna talk about Pietro and Monica up in Pietro's man attic. I don't know, what did he call it? Or like the fortress of something. And it looks very similar to the stuff that we saw in X-Men with Peter living in there. It looked a little bit like that. I wonder, it's been a while since I've seen X-Men, but was there some stuff modeled after that? Or was I just, it looks very similar. That's why I was like, ooh. But it turns out that he is the missing Ralph that I thought was just made up, and that we were never going to know who or Ralph was, or Agatha was just basically being like, oh, Ralph, you know, him, you know, just causing some more backstory in the Agnes persona. But Monica was able to wake up Pietro, and that was the last time we saw him. I thought he was going to come in at the end and be like, I'm Peter, but that didn't happen. So that's a little bit of a loose end. I'm wondering, I don't know what's going to go on with that. Like, will he be in Doctor Strange 2, or will he be in Captain Marvel 2? Because at the first after credit scene, it's assumed that, you know, we're going to see Monica in Captain Marvel 2. That's what, I mean, you know. So we'll I'm just wondering what's going to happen with that, because that is a loose end that was never tied up. And then we have the boys going to help their mom, which this is probably the coolest part of the episode. We have the military, White Vision coming in, Agatha, all of these things. And then they had that musical cue that was very slightly Avengers. And the boys are like this, the parents are back to back. And I was like, oh, I could kiss that scene. It is so beautiful. I mean, I replayed it in my video. I replayed it because I just loved it so much, and I want to go back and rewatch it again and again and again. It was so perfect and so satisfying. This show has led up to this finale being so satisfying with just different moments, with Wanda and Vision, them as a family, with Monica, everything. It was perfectly laid out. I love it so much. And then the fighting starts again with Wanda going after Agatha, the boys taking care of the military, and I loved how Wanda was like, boys, take care of them, you know, just trusting them to do this. And White Vision versus Vision. And White Vision versus Vision, they had a conversation, which I am glad that they had, of who is Vision? I was tasked to destroy Vision, but who is he? I have the body, but you have the spirit. What is all of this? And there was a really great, I mean, it's the whole, they talked about the boat, but it's, you know, you have this broom, and this broom, and then the fighting begins. We have Wanda versus Agatha, White Vision versus Vision, and the boys taking care of the military, which I loved. Wanda's like, take care of this, you know, trusting that they can handle this and that their family's going to be okay after all of this. Wow. Okay in the moment. But I want to talk about the White Vision versus Vision scene, because, I mean, they had the conversation that I was hoping for as soon as White Vision was like, I have a directive to kill Vision, to destroy Vision, but it's like, what is Vision? You know, this White Vision has the body of Vision, and then this Hex version of Vision has the spirit, has everything that encompasses who Vision was as a personality, without the, you know, actually remembering some of the things, but that doesn't really matter. And there was this back and forth, and they talked about the ship, you know, if one piece of wood and everything else is new, is it still the same ship? All of these things. And Vision gave White Vision the memories, unlocked those memories, and White Vision flew out, and that was the last thing we saw of him. Now, I don't know if it's assumed that we are supposed to go, oh, he just went off and destroyed because that's what his directive was. I don't think so. After learning about all of that and seeing all of that and experiencing all of that again, I don't think Vision would do that. And that directive, I feel like, got overwritten as soon as that memories were unlocked. So that's another loose end that I am very curious about. I assume that we will see him again, most likely in the next time that we see Wanda in the MCU. Just as a just as a little prediction, but also like, come on. And then okay, well, before I get into fucking Tyler Dickword, the boys take care of the military, and it was such a cool moment. I loved it so much. But then Tyler comes out and starts shooting. They're kids, Their kids start shooting, and then Monica goes, no, and goes in, and her eyes glow, I think yellow. They weren't blue, but they were yellow. And then the bullets go through, and they just drop to the ground, and one bullet goes past Monica, and Billy was able to stop it, and just, and they had a nice little exchange there. Flipping my card over. Probably another... One of the more satisfying scenes in TV, especially this series, was Tyler was trying to leave, and then who comes barreling in but Darcy, boom, crashes into him and says, have fun in prison. I love that line. It was delivered so well. And then the shot of him being dragged away in handcuffs, mwah, beautiful. Comeuppance, bitch. And then again, just amazing stuff. Wanda and Agatha battling out with the dark red, black, gray skies, the lightning crackles, the hex around them, power going. You see Wanda throwing her energy at Agatha, but also at the wall. And I was like, ooh, nope, that's something that she's doing. And just when you think Agatha is all powerful and doing everything and ready to just take everything for her own, she goes like this, and nothing happens. And Wanda has been setting up runes around the hex, and it's like the witch who casts the runes, you can't use other magic. Ooh, and oh, this is like, I mean, Wanda's punishment for Agatha is making Agatha Agnes. Oh, but right before that, they had this whole exchange of, you'll need me again, which is saying, we're gonna see Agatha probably in Doctor Strange 2, because duh. And I know that I've read through comments and multiple things that Agatha is actually a sort of mentor figure for Wanda, which I can see possibly that relationship turning into more of a hate, but also respect sort of relationship between the two of them. And I was thinking that maybe Agatha was going to be the big bad in Doctor Strange 2. I have a feeling it's going to get a lot more complicated than that, but I do have a really good feeling, same with, you know, the whole White Vision thing, that Agatha will be in future MCU stuff. But Catherine Hahn, again, just really quickly, whenever she turned back into Agnes and was like, oh, hello, neighbor, you could see it, like she was smiling, but her eyes were trapped. Like she was trapped. It was Agatha behind there just banging on the door trying to get out. And it was fucking Catherine Hahn. I mean, everybody in the cast deserves all the awards, but I'll talk about that later. I was like, oh, what's next? And I just wrote down the goodbye sad face. Waterfall. I mean, you saw. It was just tears. Like, I couldn't stop them. I was like, I'm trying to wipe it. It's just not, nope. Just everything with the tucking the boys back in, and then Vision finding out what he is, who he is, how he is, through Wanda, and everything in between. And their goodbye was so heartbreaking. This whole thing was heartbreaking. And then him, I didn't want to see him break apart, but of course they're going to do that because it's Marvel and it's Wanda and Vision. They've shown just awful. Oh, I forgot even to mention the other part with whenever Wanda was closing down the hex and allowing people to escape, Wanda and then her two boys were breaking apart, and I was like, fuck this show. We're making me just teary-eyed pretty much the entire time I'm watching this. But gosh, Elizabeth and Paul, how many times have they had to say goodbye, or there's been an exchange of like, they're losing one another? How many times at this point? There should be a freaking counter. But yeah, I have no doubt that we will see Vision again. I mean, even Vision and Wanda were like how many times have we said goodbye by now, but we still keep meeting each other. We still keep finding each other again. It's gonna happen. Like, I don't have any doubt that's gonna happen. They wouldn't have added that line in there for me to just be on hopelessness going into future MCU stuff with Wanda. Come on. And then at the very end, Wanda back in her, where we started with her, with the broken down house, and she's walking through and everyone in Westview's looking at her like, and I'm like, I don't give a fuck. You see what Wanda's just been through? Wanda walks up to Monica and is like, you know, they'll never understand, or they'll never know. And it's like, yeah, but at the same time, and Wanda leaves. She leaves, and that's that. And then the credits roll, and the first after credit scene, I mentioned it a little bit earlier, but Monica is most likely going to be in Captain Marvel 2. I mean, duh. And I assume that she is going to meet up with Fury, and I am very excited to see the exchange between her and Carol, because there is definitely some unresolved, like, you know what I mean? Some just emotion right there. So I'm very excited to see that. And it's actually interesting because when you watch Iron Man, Thor, all of these things, you are mainly on the side, or mainly just looking through the lenses of the main character. But with here, all of the people who watched WandaVision are going to be like, Monica, you know what I mean? They're going to be like, fucking yes, Monica Rambeau, let's do this. So I'm going to be very curious to see my thoughts and feelings on that movie and everything in between, because I'm going into that fully just like Team Monica, like, hell yes, let's do this. And then the second after credit scene, Wanda is living her life in a sort of like cabin in the middle of very beautiful, wherever that was. I don't know where they filmed that, but that was very beautiful. And she is getting up and is making tea, but also she's looking through the Darkhold, and you heard Tommy and Billy going, help us. So I assume that she is looking for a way to bring her boys back without having to do the hex, like actually getting a chance to keep them around and them not breaking apart, and most likely Vision too, which is great. I mean, I know that scene could have been taken one of two ways. It could have been taken like, oh fuck, which Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. fans know that the Darkhold is not great. It's not, it's, how you'd say, really bad. It's really, really bad. So you could take it as a, this is not good, Wanda bad, or you could take it as she's just trying to bring her family back. And I'm more on that side because we heard that, but also, yikes. I was like, yikes, but also like, ooh, yeah, get it, Wanda. But let's just, okay, so that was the end. That was the end of WandaVision, the series finale. I mean, a part of me hopes that after they see how much reach the show had and how many people watched it, that they'll be like, ooh, let's make another series. But at the same time, I get it. If it's only one, I get it. But yeah, I mean, one thing I do hope for this show, everyone who watched it knows how good these actors and actresses were. You know what I mean? They are fantastic. The whole entire season was immaculate, and the performances were just stunning. I'm never gonna stop saying that. I really hope that this show gets recognized for that, and hopefully award people are like, ooh, you know, let's overlook the fact that this is a superhero show, because there is a bit of a roadblock where the supernatural, superhero, sci-fi normally gets overlooked for the more, I guess, regular, real world, down to ground shows. But I want these actors and actresses to recognize, man, because they knocked it out of the park. Everybody, they knocked it out of the park. And but if that doesn't happen, we know, the audience knows, and that's, again, I think that's what's most important, is that, you know, if the audience is moved by their performances, that's the whole point of it. That's the whole point of it. Okay, well, I don't know. Going forward, I don't know. I mean, if you take that after credit scene with Wanda in the Darkhold being a whoa, you know, sort of moment, it could be assumed that she's going to be sort of an adversary in Doctor Strange 2, but at the same time, I don't know. I mean, we just saw everything that she went through. Like, I'm never gonna look at Wanda and see a villain. I don't think that that would be possible unless she just fucking says fuck you and destroys everything, which I don't I don't see them doing that with this character after everything that's happened, especially delving in more to her as a person in this show. But I mean, just baseline predictions, like I said earlier, we will see Agatha again. We will see Vision again. We will most likely see Pietro again. And then again, I think we'll probably see Billy and Tommy, which would be great. And I really hope it's the same actors, because those kids were incredible. I loved every minute that they were on screen. There's always like kids in TV shows are always like, whoop, hit or miss. You know, it's like, oh, they're like, you either like really, really love them or you're annoyed by them. I love them and I want them to continue on in this, in these two roles. Like, that would be amazing. And I know that, you know, Billy and Tommy grow up to be Wiccan and Speed. My camera decided to stop recording because I've been talking for so long. I actually have to get editing soon. But I think it's Wiccan and Speed, is that their MCU names or their Marvel Comics names. So I would like to see that, and I would really like to see these two boys again, and them especially as a family. But yeah, I loved it. I'm probably going to rewatch this show so many times because I loved it so much, and I hope you have enjoyed my reaction to the show. For future MCU things, this is just going to be the year of MCU and me reacting to it, like Falcon and Winter Soldier, Loki, possibly What If, all the things. And my voice is going hoarser and hoarser the more I speak. But I know that they're doing a making of WandaVision, and if you have any interest in me reacting to it, let me know. I have a feeling I will, and then see how I feel about the reaction and put it up maybe, because again, I love this show, and any bit of content that they give me, I'm like, ooh, give me more. So yeah, thank you for coming on this little ride with me. I hope we get more, and I hope I'm just super pumped about it, and I loved it. Okay. That's it. I will see you for the next one.